Xiong'an new area deserted, Millennium plan turned into a joke? From poverty alleviation to beauty pageant, shocking inside story. China's high-priced Taoyuan village soy milk and fried dough stick shops down to just 4. Girl killed by Chinese rocket debris, banned documentary falling from the sky goes viral. Beijing continuously shows weakness to the US and abandons wolf warrior approach. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Xiong'an new area deserted, Millennium plan turned into a joke? Publicly available information indicates that the Chinese authorities invested 664.1 billion yuan, approximately 93.56 billion USD, in the Xiong'an new area, constructing a railway station, office buildings, residential areas, 5-star hotels, schools, and hospitals on former cornfields. However, this so-called millennial project lacks the most crucial element, residents. On a workday in January 2024, Bloomberg found almost no one on the highways leading to Xiong'an new area. The streets in the city center were lined with new government headquarters, office buildings, residential areas, and hotels, but there were few open shops and restaurants. Bloomberg suggests that the slow start of Xiong'an highlights the flaws in Xi Jinping's plan to attract the population from the capital, as Beijing is China's premier resource center. This resistance also exposes the limitations of Xi Jinping's personal power. It's not just the general public unwilling to move to Xiong'an, various institutions in Beijing are also resisting relocation. In late March of the previous year, Hebei Province announced the relocation of 4 Beijing universities: Beijing University of Science and Technology, Beijing Forestry University, Beijing Jiadong University, and China University of Geosciences, Beijing, to Xiong'an new area. However, these universities promptly denied the news unanimously on their official WeChat accounts, stating that Beijing and Xiong'an campuses were for one university, 2 campuses, coordinated development. Official media claimed that authorities plan to accelerate the construction of the first batch of relocation projects, promote the second batch involving central enterprises, universities, and hospitals, and concurrently study and plan the third batch of relocation projects. At that time, she warned, one cannot decide based on personal preferences. If one needs to move, one must move. We cannot have paper relocation or covert return, ostensibly relocating but ending up back where it started. Nor can we increase relocation by establishing secondary units in Beijing. Political commentator Li Lini stated that Xi Jinping's words confirm significant problems in the Xiong'an new area relocation, to the point where she seems somewhat embarrassed and annoyed. The resistance, both internally and externally within the Chinese Communist Party, unprecedentedly exposes how unpopular this policy is. In the case of Xiong'an new area, the entire political scene is now treating it as a joke directed at Xi. From poverty alleviation to beauty pageant, shocking inside story. In China, which claims socialism and equality as its ideals, there exists a highly unequal system known as the special supply system. TV producer Li Juanzhong points out that this special supply system within the Chinese Communist Party traces back to as early as 1941. According to Xiong'an, a senior editor and chief writer at Epoch Times, the issue of special supplies has escalated. It's not confined to central leaders or prominent figures. Many government entities, from ministries to provincial and municipal offices, and even down to county-level governments, have established their own special supply centers. This phenomenon has become widespread. Liu Shaochun, former deputy director of the Forestry Bureau in Junshan District, Yiyang City, Hunan Province, revealed on NTD Television's Elite Forum that special supplies have reached the grassroots government level. This is mainly due to security considerations, such as soil pollution and pesticide contamination. Local governments use rural poverty alleviation projects to exploit the situation. They specify certain crops to be grown, like rice or vegetables, or dedicate efforts to pig and poultry farming. These areas are the targets of poverty alleviation projects supported by funds from higher authorities. They use the pretext of precise poverty alleviation to engage in agricultural production. After growing these crops, they first use them themselves. Anything surplus is then sold in a poverty alleviation supermarket within the government office, under the guise of poverty alleviation. The supermarket exclusively sells these organic agricultural products. Liu Xiaochun went on to reveal a startling inside story: the CCP has additional forms of special supplies. For instance, during the precision poverty alleviation process, if they find a young girl in a rural area who looks good, they facilitate connections for her. If leaders need someone like her, perhaps as a nanny or someone with a bit of education, they precisely coordinate with higher-ups. This is what they refer to as a talent platform. The potential expansion of employment might mean that these promising young individuals have all been exploited and negatively impacted within the precision poverty alleviation program. Veteran journalist Zhao Longjian mentioned on Elite Forum that there are unimaginable aspects that ordinary people might not be aware of, such as the increasing attention on special organ supplies in recent years. Epoch Times chief editor Gu Jun stated, "When I was in Hong Kong, I knew that officials from Xinhua News Agency would provide special organ supplies to some wealthy individuals in Hong Kong to gain their support and loyalty to the CCP. This is why these wealthy individuals come out to support the CCP at critical times." Special organ supplies have consistently been provided to wealthy individuals in Hong Kong, and some foreign dignitaries have been offered convenience. China's high-priced Taoyuan village soy milk and fried dough stick shops down to just 4. On January 10, reporters from Jiemian News visited the Taoyuan Quarters Village store in Wancheng Tiandi, Shenzhen, only to discover that the original location had been closed and barricaded. Staff from nearby businesses confirmed that it had been shut for several days, signaling the closure of the last Taoyuan Quarters Village store in Guangdong. This brand, which once brought innovation to the concept of street stall breakfasts, is now facing extinction. During its peak, Taoyuan Quarters Village boasted over 40 stores, but currently, only 4 remain operational. Between 2016 and 2017, Taoyuan Quarters Village experienced a rapid expansion of its store count, primarily establishing itself in first-tier cities with A-class shopping malls capable of accommodating large stores. However, according to information from the Taoyuan app, the company that owns Taoyuan Quarters Village is Shanghai Wanchur Catering Management Company, Limited, flagged with labels like restricted high consumption, equity freeze, and being a judgment debtor. The most recent risk information for this company, just 11 days ago, is linked to a legal case involving a property lease dispute with Taikoo Hui, Guangzhou Development Company, Limited. Taoyuan Quarters Village's affiliated company is identified as the judgment debtor, with an enforcement target of approximately 1.17 million yuan, around $240,000. Moreover, numerous associated branches in Shenzhen, Beijing, and other locations related to Taoyuan Quarters Village are listed as revoked. Analysts suggest that Taoyuan Quarters Village still focuses on popular snacks like fried dough sticks, soy milk, and baked cakes, alongside main dishes such as beef noodles, steamed buns, and wontons. However, certain items like the 39 yuan, approximately 5 USD, spicy prawn wontons and the 48 yuan, approximately $7, half tendon and half meat noodles now appear out of touch with the times due to their high prices. In the last Taoyuan Quarters Village store in Shanghai, among over 5,000 public reviews on Dianping, relatively high prices stood out as the top complaint. The brand's previous popularity aligned with the trend of consumer upgrading, where individuals were willing to pay a premium for the brand and experience. However, in today's consumer environment, a dining strategy featuring excessively high premiums is considered outdated. Girl killed by Chinese rocket debris, banned documentary falling from the sky goes viral. On January 9, a carrier rocket carrying the Einstein reconnaissance satellite took off from the Xiong'an Satellite Launch Center in Sichuan Province, flying over the skies of southern Taiwan. With the presidential election in Taiwan imminent, and considering safety concerns due to large gatherings for campaign events, the Taiwanese Ministry of National Defense issued a national alert, prompting public attention and discussions about the potential threats posed by rocket debris from Chinese launches. Some netizens on social media recalled the random falling debris from Chinese rockets after satellite launches, causing harm to local residents. Chinese director Xiong'an delved into this issue, conducting in-depth interviews in rural areas and producing the banned documentary Falling from the Sky, reflecting the long-standing troubles and pain endured by Chinese farmers due to these fallen disasters. Filmed in 2009, Falling from the Sky is a 145-minute documentary that portrays the theoretical impact zone of all carrier rocket debris launched from the Xiong'an Satellite Launch Center, affecting a region where over 160,000 people live in Xiong'an County, Hunan Province. For decades, villagers in this area have faced the dangers of rocket debris falling one or more times, almost every year. Over the years, the sudden falling debris has damaged crops in farmers' fields, knocked down trees in villages, smashed roofs of villagers' homes, and even caused the death of livestock. The most tragic incident occurred in 1998 when rocket debris killed a 16-year-old girl, and the satellite responsible for her death was named ChinaSat-1. Initially, the compensation offered by the authorities was too low, and affected villagers refused to accept the money, expressing that they only wanted the government to repair the damaged areas of their homes. However, officials were unwilling to spend time on this matter, and some responded harshly to the villagers, saying, "What are you compensating for? There's nothing to compensate, the land you're on belongs to the Communist Party." Interviewed farmers revealed that the official compensation eventually amounted to 2,000 yuan, approximately $280, which was insufficient considering the significant damage to their homes. However, they had no other choice but to accept this reality. Local residents also shared that on one occasion, a rocket was launched after midnight, catching farmers off guard as they typically rested early after working hard during the day. Residents resigned themselves to the situation, saying, "We can't hide anyway, so we can only accept it, and we can only leave it to fate. If it falls on us, so be it." After Falling from the Sky was completed and premiered in China, it garnered significant attention and resonance from the public. However, the stories of these humble and powerless individuals remain a red line that cannot be crossed in mainland China. The documentary was promptly banned by the CCP authorities and has been unable to be screened domestically. The recent launch of a carrier rocket by mainland China triggered a national alert in Taiwan, drawing attention from overseas Chinese netizens to the dangers of falling rocket debris incidents caused by the Chinese Communist regime. Netizens shared the documentary Falling from the Sky on YouTube, causing the film to gain overnight popularity. Viewers expressed their sentiments through comments, watching it bring sighs and tears. Individual rights are powerless against public authority. Others remarked, "Great aerospace achievements come at the cost of ordinary people. In their eyes, we are nothing more than ants, and this is clearly a man-made disaster. Even natural disasters are not this dangerous." You can feel the deep powerlessness of the local residents. Many expressed gratitude towards the director, the production team, and the netizens who shared the video. One comment read, "Thanks to the director for letting us know about the cruel reality and the rogue government behind this bright and beautiful facade." Beijing continuously shows weakness to the US and abandons wolf warrior approach. Recently, the CCP has seized the 45th anniversary of US-China relations to showcase unexpected goodwill, including having diplomats on US visits refute its wolf warrior diplomacy style. This marks a notable pivot from their post-Xi Jinping's US visit stance last year. However, Xi Jinping has been also reinforcing a combat narrative to foreign envoys. Experts view this as a CCP ploy, using diplomatic niceties to mask enduring US-China tensions and buy time. Beijing's double game, feigning friendliness with US, analysts warn of plotting behind the scenes. On January 9, Liu Jianchao, Minister of the United Front Work Department of the CCP, spoke at the Council on Foreign Relations in New York, stating that Beijing does not seek to reshape the world order but hopes to strengthen cooperation with the United States. Liu said, "I don't believe in continuous wolf warrior diplomacy, and there is no talk of returning to this diplomatic approach." This contradicts previous statements from diplomats who were dubbed wolf warriors. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi also emphasized win-win cooperation during a reception on January 5 in Beijing, commemorating the 45th anniversary of diplomatic relations between China and the United States. Additionally, state media continuously adopts a softer tone. On the last day of 2023, Xinhua News Agency published an article titled "Carry Forward the Past and Forge Ahead," promoting a new start in China-US relations. Independent commentator Xiong'an stated on the X platform on January 10 that, looking back at Sino-US relations, it seems like they are returning to a level playing field. The entire diplomatic team is working in this direction to eliminate doubts and vigilance from both the American government and the public. The shift in the CCP's diplomatic policy has made the international community somewhat uneasy. In fact, Chinese leader Xi Jinping has been continuing to demand overseas diplomats dare to fight and be good at struggling. On December 29, 2023, Xi Jinping met with all overseas diplomats, claiming that external forces continue to escalate their repression and containment against us, bringing special challenges to diplomatic work. He emphasized the need to dare to fight and be good at struggling and to maintain a ready-for-battle posture. Li Qingsu, Deputy Research Fellow at the National Policy Foundation of Taiwan, stated on January 10 that the CCP is currently playing a dual strategy, employing both soft and hard tactics. He said, "On one hand, they say to the United States, as long as you don't touch my core interests, we can cooperate in many aspects. This is a soft approach. On the hard side, if you attempt to change our political system in China or cross the red line in the Taiwan Strait, Beijing will not back down." Ping Keichen, Associate Professor of the Department of Diplomacy at National Chengchi University in Taiwan, told the Epoch Times that the latest gestures of goodwill from the CCP are only superficial. Many of the contradictions between the United States and China are related to the CCP's attempt to change the US-led order, and the two sides will still have differing opinions on these issues in the future. He stated, "The withdrawal of wolf warrior rhetoric has been observed for a while, and there is no sign of Beijing returning to wolf warrior diplomacy. This posture is to repair the damage to diplomatic relations caused by wolf warrior diplomacy." Beijing has realized that wolf warrior diplomacy did not bring more friends but instead distanced itself from some countries that were initially close to China. Xi Jinping has also extended a friendly gesture towards the United States by sending a letter to a friend in Iowa, emphasizing the importance of Sino-American relations. In the letter, she recalled the history of their friendship and highlighted the future of bilateral ties, particularly focusing on youth engagement. He reiterated the invitation for 50,000 American youths to come to China for exchange programs over the next 5 years. This move is seen as a significant policy shift, as China traditionally focused on talent development for African and less privileged nations. Prominent commentator Zhou Xiaohui, in an article for the Epoch Times, argues that in Washington, where there is already a widely shared anti-communist stance, politicians don't even take notice of figures like Henry Kissinger, let alone an insignificant individual's letter. It is highly probable that Xi's letter is meant for the Chinese people who have been misled, in order to demonstrate his position as an equal with the United States. The article raises questions about why Xi Jinping is inviting 50,000 Americans to spend tens of billions of dollars without ever consulting the Chinese people. Such a move by the party leader is likely to generate widespread criticism within China. How many young Americans are willing to accept the invitation from the Chinese Communist Party and visit China? They might eventually become hostages, as there have been precedents for such situations. Considering the Chinese Communist Party's recognized evil nature, the number of Americans visiting China is decreasing. Regardless of the efforts made by the Xi administration to improve U.S.-China relations and the tricks they employ, Americans have lost faith in it. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. If you find the information helpful, please share this video with a friend to watch together. This will be a great source of motivation for our team to produce more and more quality and reliable videos. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths. Thank you for tuning in.